The 1909 Savannah Axe Murders was a triple homicide that occurred at 401 West Perry Street in the downtown district of Savannah, Georgia in December 1909. Though the public initially confronted the city's African American community with the crime, the dying third victim, Maggie Hunter, was able to make a statement that her husband had been the murderer. J.C. Hunter was sentenced to death in 1910, but continued committed to imprisonment one day before the 1911 date for his execution, and pardoned by the governor in 1923. On December the 10th, 1909, two women, Eliza Gribble and her daughter, Carrie Challender, were discovered beaten to death inside the house, while a third woman, Maggie Hunter, was found barely alive and later died from her injuries at the hospital. When police arrived on the scene, they found Carrie Olander's body in the hallway and concluded that she had been criminally assaulted before her throat was slit. Her mother, Eliza Gribble, was found in the back bedroom, her skull beaten in. Eliza Gribble, 70, was the owner of the house. She was originally from Cornwall, England, but had settled in Savannah prior to the Civil War with her husband, R. Gribble. She had rented the house with her daughter a short time before the murders occurred. Eliza was found sitting in her easy chair in the back bedroom. A newspaper and her reading glasses lay at her feet. She had received 1 to 2 blows on the back of the head, and her gray head showed the imprint of an axe. Carrie Olander, 36, was Eliza Gribble's daughter. She was separated from her husband, Andrew J. Olander, who was living in Memphis, and had come to Savannah with her mother. Olander was partially deaf and believed to be the first attacked, likely trying to protect her mother. Physicians determined she was criminally assaulted before having her throat cut and being beaten to death. Maggie Hunter, 34, had just rented a room and moved into the Gribble house the day before the attacks occurred. She was estranged from her husband, J.C. Hunter, who was 30 years her senior at the time and was planning on making a living on her own by being a seamstress. J.C. Hunter had just bought a sewing machine over to the house the day before the murders. Maggie was found barely alive at the front door of the house with her throat slit and her head beaten in. She died 3 days later at the hospital. Public reaction and trial. The crime happened early enough in the day to make the evening paper that night. The now defunct Savannah Evening Press reported the murders and caused frenzy in the town. A riot broke out with fences torn down and doors burst as townspeople on a witch hunt for the murderer. Quickly the story became national news. The Los Angeles Herald reported on December 11, 1909, 150 Negroes are prisoners in the police station awaiting examination. Mobs of men stormed the jail in outrage, making the prisoners fear for their lives. However, a delirious Maggie Hunter, dying in the hospital, would reveal to a Baptist minister, the Reverend John S. Wilder, who was sitting at her bedside, the name of the killer. Maggie claimed that her husband, J.C. Hunter, was the one who struck her down. Police were notified and Hunter was taken into custody after a search of her house revealed a bloody rag and bloody clothes. On February 23, 1910, the Chatham County Grand Jury indicted 3 men, J.C. Hunter, Willie Walls, and John Coker, for the murder of the 3 women. All men denied any knowledge of the crimes. On August 17, 1910, the jury convicted Hunter of murder and the court sentenced him to death by hanging. He tried to appeal the conviction and sentence, but was denied, and his execution was set for December 22, 1911. The day before his execution, Hunter was to be baptized in his jail cell by Reverend John S. Wilder. Hunter still proclaimed his innocence to the crimes and was told that the governor had commuted his sentence to life imprisonment. On October the 27th, 1923, Hunter was granted a pardon by Governor Clifford Walker and returned to Savannah. There is more that can be found at wikipedia.org. Search terms 1909 Savannah axe murders. I am Lewis Finley in Port Wentworth, Georgia. My surface mail address and landline are public in the PortWentworthWhitePages.com directory. I am the owner of a post office box in Port Wentworth, Georgia. I can also be contacted at lfinleyyoutube@gmail.com. You may contact me. I also own 3 cell telephones. Thank you.